Okay, this is The Worst Guys, All She Needed, Childish Gambino featuring Chance guitar solo tutorial. This solo is very hard, and the first trick you have to know to playing it is you need to do heavy distortion so that you can kind of hide wrong notes, which is important because there's a lot of notes in this solo, like the part where it does the like it's a lot of notes. So know that going into it. But when you pull it off, it's really cool. So the first thing you have to know is the two chords for pretty much the entire song up until the solo. It's E flat major 7. So you start with your first finger on the 6th fret on the A string. Then you come in with your 3rd finger on the 8th fret on the D string. Then middle finger hits the 7th fret on the G string, and the pinky comes in on the B string on the 8th fret. So you have, and if you have mastered bar chords, you can hit the 6th fret on the high E string as well, so you get that. But you don't need that, you can also just do this. And then it slides up to F minor 7, which is, starting on the A string, is 8, 10, 8, 9, 8. 8, 10, 8, 9, 8. So you bar that first finger there on the 8th fret, and then you just put your 3rd finger here on the 10th fret on the D string, and your middle finger goes on the 9th fret on the B string. So those are the two chords. All she needed was some, 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 all she needed was some. And then comes this insane solo. So you turn up the distortion. I'm on this little Mustang Micro that just hooks up to a speaker because people are sleeping in my house. But you do, it starts with, it goes, so let's start with that. It's really a scale. If you've done scales, you're just going to be going through a lot of scales pretty much. So it starts on the 11th fret on the low E string. And you want to get your fingers in a formation where your middle finger is lined up with the 11th fret, and your first finger is going to cover any stuff on the 10th fret. Your 3rd finger is going to cover any notes on the 12th fret, and your 4th finger is going to cover any notes on the 13th fret, which is how scales work, just so you're not sliding all over the place. It will end up looking like, which is a major scale in E flat. So it's 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3. That's it. And I'm jumping from string to string every time I say a new 1. So I'm going 2 4s on the low E, 1 4 is on the A string, 1 4 is on the D string, 1 3 is on the G string. And once you finish that little mini scale, then you do the little riff he does, which once you're up on that 12th fret on the G string, you just go 12, 10, 8, 10. The other thing I'm doing is hammer-ons. I'm not going, I'm letting each one. So I'm not plucking the string or using a pick. You can use a pick. I did use a pick for the video I recorded, but you want to let it go as fast as possible because it's fast. It's like, you can skip through it, which is why you need heavy distortion, because it's a lot of notes. So that's the first part, and then it goes. Which we ended on the 10th fret on the G string. You then shoot down to the 8th fret on the D string, and you do 8-10 on the D, 8-10 on the G, and then slide back up to the 12th fret on the G string. So we're doing hammer-ons and slides. It's a complicated solo. And once you get back up to that place, you go from the 10th fret. 12, 12, 12, 13, 12, 10, 8, 10. And then it does another E flat major scale up to shoot up another octave. So we started with I did that bad. So we just ended on a, we ended there, 10th fret on the G string. It then goes 8, 10, 12 on the G string. And I would do, you hit that first 8th fret note and then hammer on, slide up to 12. Because you don't have time to go. So you do. Once you get up to the 12, your first finger comes in on the B string on the 11th fret, 11, 13, and then again on the high E string, 11, 13. So it's 8, 10, 12, 11, 13, 11, 13, 15. And that's the highest note of the solo so far. And then you do the same thing that you were doing down low at the end of the last piece of the solo, where you go. 13, but now instead of 12, 10, and 8, you have 12, 13, 15, 13, and 11. So from the beginning, let's just recap. Then comes this crazy walk down of the pentatonic scale, where you go. It's just going every note. Which are all just major scales conjoined together. But from where you ended up, wait, where was I? So then it goes. Starting on 11th fret on the E string. 11, 10, then we go to the B string. 13, 11, then we go to the D string, or the G string, 12, 10. And you're doing 2 notes for every one. So, once you are there on the 10th fret of the G string, 8, 7 on the G string, 10 to 8 on the D string, 5 on the D string, 8, 7 on the A string. Which sounds long and clunky and not right, but it's so fast that it ends up being fluid. It ends up being really fast. This is a hard solo. I can't stress that enough. We're almost done. Then comes the key change, which was the hardest part. The key change, and I faked my way through the key change. You start with the same setup you had for the beginning of the solo. The 11th fret on the low E string. 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3. But instead of finishing it, you just kind of go back and forth for a second. Because you're shooting to a new key in 1 second. So you go. You walk up and down. 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1. And then you shoot to. This is your new landing note. On the G string, the 9th fret. And you're going to do the same exact formation you did earlier in the solo. But now it's all moved up 1/2 step. So earlier we did starting on the 8th fret of the G string. Now we're on the 9th fret because we just did a key change. And you go 9, 11, 13 on the G, and then 10, 12, or 12, 14 on the B, 12, 14, 16 on the high E string. And then you do the 14, 12, 14. Which is hard. And the timing on this, I'm telling you, the more distortion you can work, the more you'll get away with. Because I'm not doing perfect like. I'm going like. As long as you shoot out of those muddy notes into, you'll be okay. And then again. And then it does like a reprise starting on the 12th fret of the B string. So that's that 12th fret of the B string. 12, 14, then E string, 12, 14, 16, 17, 16, 14, 12, 14. And I'm not sure about this part actually, but I believe it then goes 12, 11 on the E string, 12 on the B string, 13 on the G string, and then it does that again an octave lower. on the G string, 9, 8, 9 on the D string, 11 on the A string. Because I think it does. Then comes the mess around part that I also didn't quite have in the solo of. Which is very bluesy. Put your third finger on the 11th fret of the G string, and you're gonna bend it a whole note up till it sounds like the 13th fret of the G string. And when you bend it up, you're gonna release it and immediately hit the 9th fret of the B string, which is the same note, sound-wise, because you're going. And that's the first part of this little lick of. Those are the notes you need for this lick. That bended 11th fret G string, 9th fret B string, 9th fret E string, 12th fret B string. And it does a mixture of things, and I'm not positive, but I think it's. Like I just did a bunch of stuff. Again, distortion up, hide whatever you are not sure of. And so I do that bending thing first. And then I do this hammer off thing between the 9th frets of the E and the B string and the 12th fret of the B string. So I'm hitting the 9th fret of the E string, then I'm smacking on and hammering off the 12th fret of the B string. And then you do that bend again when you're getting out of it. You're making the 11th fret of the G string sound like the 13th fret. And you slowly bend it back down to the 11th fret. Hit the 9th fret of the G string. And then you end the entire solo on the 11th fret of the D string. And that last note, you also add as much vibrato as you can. And that's it. That's the solo. I didn't think this would be a 20-minute video. It is. Don't be discouraged if you can't do a lot of parts of this, because I did not attempt this solo until I'd played guitar for like 13 years. So I had a lot of scale knowledge and a lot of like, I knew how to do hammer-ons and I knew how to do fast slides and bends, and each element of the solo is like a little masterclass in a scale or a hammer-on or something like that. So just take it slow. I personally loved when I started playing guitar, mastering things that were too hard for me, and that just took a long time, and I'm sure you can do the same. And now I'm just gonna play the whole solo in its entirety. That's it.